Classic rock album reviews coming right at you.
Magab, everybody. It is the 45th anniversary of Powerage. I wasn't thinking it was the 45th anniversary a few days ago when I sat here and did a review for Highway to Hell that was going to be put up today. And then I saw it was the 45th anniversary, so today, right now, I'm going to do a Powerage episode. I even said in my Highway to Hell, I'm not sure if I did a Powerage episode. It's my favorite AC/DC album. And yeah, I absolutely love this album. It's the first album with Cliff Williams, and like I said, it's my favorite. So let's get into the songs. All right, we start with Rock and Roll Damnation, and right off the bat, the sound of this album. They're the same people that did the albums before. Let There Be Rock was so raw, and the other ones were a little primitive, where this one, I think they found the perfect sound. I know Mutt Lange gets a lot of credit, and deservedly so, on Highway to Hell and Back in Black and For Those About to Rock. Great production from Vanda and Young. And my God, what a great opener. Such a fun tune. Rock and Roll Damnation is just ripping. You know, Keith Richards once said in an interview that Powerage is one of his favorite albums. And this song is a perfect opener. I love it. Next song is Down Payment Blues. This has to be my second favorite AC/DC song of all time. My favorite's off Highway to Hell, which I'll talk about tomorrow. This song, the attitude, the riff. Edward Van Halen on a video was talking about how important that riff is, and it's one of his favorite riffs, and he also loved Powerage. And the lyrics to this, how Bon is talking about how he can't even feed his cat on Social Security, and got himself a Cadillac but can't afford the gasoline. Come on, how perfect is this? It is the perfect AC/DC song. I absolutely love it. My second favorite. Next track is Bullet to Bite On, which this kind of sounds like an anthemic song, but it's not an anthemic song. But it has that feel, and Bon just spilling it out, saying, give me a bullet to bite on, something to chew. Give me the bullet to bite on, and I'll make believe it's you. Badass. Awesome tune. Next track is Riff Raff. Now this is just insane right here. This is where it gets like full throttle with those riffs from Angus and the opening riffs and how it builds up, the band builds up. It's like the perfect opening song, even though it doesn't open this album, but it did open their shows back then. My God, I absolutely love Riff Raff, and I only got to see them do that once, was when I saw him with Axl Rose, and it was awesome just to see Angus do this song in front of me. Never seen it happen before. Hopefully I'll get to see it happen again. Alright, so you flip the album over and you've got Sin City, probably the best known song from this album. It was a concert staple every time I saw AC/DC, and it's just awesome. It's Bon Scott singing about Vegas, and I don't think anybody can write about Vegas better than how Bon Scott did in this song. Pure genius, and it's a rockin' tune, and I love the breakdown, how Angus just goes crazy on the guitar and then just stops, and it's just Cliff Williams and Bon. Amazing track. One of the best AC/DC songs, in my opinion. And then the next one, What's Next to the Moon? Again, the brilliance of Bon Scott. These lyrics, it's so visual. Tie My Baby to the Railroad Track. It's just an awesome song. I'm not quite sure. Leave a comment on the below if you do know What's Next to the Moon means. The meaning to this song, is there? Let me know in the comments below. All right, next one of my favorites, and such a deep track, Gone Shooting. My God, this song, the vibe on this song, totally different than anything else on this album. It's got this cool little, just a killer vibe, and I remember when I saw this in the Beavis and Butthead movie. When I went to the theater, I was like, I don't believe it. I don't believe that they're playing Gone Shooting. This is beyond amazing. And this song is, again, I would say it's one of the greatest AC/DC songs where it doesn't really sound too much like AC/DC. It stands on its own. I absolutely love it. Next one, Up to My Neck in You. Full throttle. Let's just, all right, it's a little mellow. Let's get real heavy. And again, I love this song. I love how Bon is talking about all things he's sick of and nasty riff. Just an amazing track. And then we end it with what I would say is the greatest, well, tied with the greatest song to listen to when you break up with somebody. I'd say the first one would be Ride On from Dirty Deeds, but Kicked in the Teeth, listening to those lyrics have helped me so much. And what a ripping song with Bon screaming in the beginning and just a killer guitar playing. Now, I have a different version of Powerage that's kind of like a different mix where this doesn't have a guitar solo. It just goes dun 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 dun. You know, and Down Payment Blues doesn't end like this version does. And also on that album, there is a track that doesn't appear on this album that's called Cold Hearted Man. And I gotta say, man, in the early days, I guess I was just kidding myself, really. Oh my God, it's a Lost Bond song. I've never heard this because I bought this album, this version back in, I don't know, the early 90s, 90, 91. So I was so, in shock at that time. There was no internet. You couldn't find everything like you can find today. So Cold Hearted Man was kind of like, ooh, it's my special little song, that nobody knows, where I was at. And now in retrospect, looking back, this is kind of a weak song. I'm not a fan of it now. I quit fooling myself. But it's not a bad song, but definitely should have been a B-side. So there you go. My review of my favorite AC/DC album, Powerage. And I just did, like I said earlier, a review of Highway to Hell that you're going to see tomorrow. I scheduled it for today, but I changed it because it's the 45th anniversary of my favorite AC/DC album. What do you think of this album? Yay or nay? Put it in the comments below. So thank you so much for watching. And please subscribe to my channel if you have not. And ring that little notification bell. And please give this video a like. It's good for the YouTube algorithm. And stay frosty. Listen to Black Sabbath. And smack 'em a gob. Before we get canceled, check out the Rock and Metal Combat Podcast with me and Wattzilla. We are the Podcast Kings. Link to the podcast is in the description below, and also a link to the YouTube page. Check out older episodes with visuals. And very soon, either Ian and I will learn how to go on YouTube Live. Might be soon. So check out the greatest podcast ever according to science.com. It's also God's favorite podcast and Satan's favorite podcast as well. So check out the Rock and Metal Combat Podcast before we get canceled.